Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Friend Chad Pearson, and welcome again to my channel. It is Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, the 9th of December. I have almost 1 p.m. in the afternoon. People, I want to ask you guys several questions. You see, because I ran a video earlier about President Trump, and it was in relation to, and the question of the tape being released about the boat. You know the story where we shot a boat in Venezuela on the sea, and then as two men were hanging on for their lives, they shot again, killing everybody. I've done several videos on this. Now this morning, I took a different approach. I said various things. You're welcome to check out that video. He lambasted, that is President Trump, he lambasted the female reporter when she asked him about whether tape be released, because he said 4 days before that, maybe 5, that he was going to release the tape. He vehemently denied it. And he embarrassed her. And I've been saying this for a while, like at some point somebody's going to snap. But I digress on that. My question, or one of the questions to you guys is, how long will this go? And you might ask, that's a general question. Okay, fair enough. Let me be specific. You see, because I talked to a friend of mine for about an hour today. I says, you know, I have not seen a reporter or a network speak on what I spoke on, and that is challenging Donald Trump, that he did say he will release the tape. And now he's denying that he said that. And he's also saying that whatever Pete Hegseth says and does, that's fine. Pete Hegseth is he's over the Department of War, so he's over the Army. People, there are a few problems here. Not just the blatant disrespect of a journalist. You're wiggling out of something, obviously, and I'm going to say obviously, that you don't want to deal with. That you would blatantly and have blatantly criticized your predecessor, Joe Biden, about this, that, and the third when it came to certain subjects. Well, you not know better if you are going to literally lie that you didn't say it, when we have tape, and I proved it, that you did say it. But not only that, you disrespect a reporter in front of her colleagues and in front of other key cabinet members who I am sure do not have a collective state of amnesia. I want to play for you, finally, the responses from the networks. But they're mushroom, cotton ball responses. Nobody's going hard on Trump, saying, look, you said this. We're holding you accountable. That it's more than just that you said it. It's just that you would blatantly lie about it on worldwide media. Now, either you have cognitive issues, or you're going a little bit cuckoo, or you outright disrespectful. Either of the three is a problem for America. Because again, these are the things that, or at least in part, some of the things he said about Joe Biden. So listen to this response. This is coming from CBS News.
President Donald Trump is insisting he never said he supported releasing video of the follow-up strike on a suspected drug boat. A reporter asked him about this yesterday.
Mr. President, you said you would have no problem with releasing the full video of that strike on September 2nd off the coast of Venezuela. Secretary Hegseth now says...
You said that. I didn't say that. This is ABC fake news.
You said that you would have no problem releasing the full video. Okay, well, Secretary Hegseth...
Whatever Hegseth wants to do is okay with me.
But just last Wednesday, President Trump said the White House would, quote, certainly release video of the second strike. Listen.
I don't know what they have, but whatever they have, we'd certainly release. No problem. You know, we stopped every boat we knock out. We saved 25,000.
So he said it. And some could try to argue, say, well, you know, he misspoke. I'm not buying it. I told my friend over the phone, I'm like, you know what, buddy? I've been not only realizing the cockiness and the lies and the blatant humiliation of journalists, especially females, but the other pattern is that he's getting away with it and nobody's addressing it. And he's shugging it off on other department heads, other cabinet members. Now, we have a Congress. Let's have a little fun here. Let's play make-believe. I called Santa Claus. I told him my problem. I told him that I wanted a president that was upright, forthright, and accountable. I wanted a Congress that had a backbone. And I wanted an economy where everybody would have a fair chance to accomplish the American dream. Santa Claus got back with me right away, which I was happy. And he said, I don't deal with fairy tales. Well, people, if Santa Claus ain't delivering on those three things, then why should we deal with nightmares? Because I submit to you, I strongly suggest to you, that's what President Trump is bringing us, a nightmare, a living nightmare. I counted close to 30 people around that King Arthur table, between cabinet members, other politicians, and journalists. And nobody, and I'm holding the men more accountable than this because it's a man's world. That's just the way God set it up. Nobody stood up to President Trump and said, excuse me, sir, you did say that 4 days ago. With all due respect, sir, you did say that. Nobody did it. No journalist wanted to risk their job or their image. What's the problem? Is he king now? Because if you continue to ignore this, that's what will happen with the ego like this. He becomes king. What, by default? At the tender age of 13, 14, and 15, I began to understand the Constitution and appreciate it. Didn't know what I was doing, but I was comparing other countries and what they stood for. Like I told you guys, I stuttered. I couldn't talk. So I spent a tremendous amount of time in the library. So I became proud of where I laid my head and placed my feet. What has happened to a society when you can go inside the king's chamber and you ask him bona fide questions and he gives you such remarks and you can't say anything or don't say anything? What does that say about those who have all these degrees and prominent positions. You scared? You in fear? We don't make men and women like we used to? Why should we care if he's the president? We always have to have a question of a level of respect. If he's not giving you respect, if he's talking to you in any old kind of way, at some point, I'm not saying the first or second time, this has been going on, these insults on reporters after he said one thing in recent history and in your face tell you something else. I can see the first or second time you letting him get back, amnesia, whatever. But nobody's going to him off the set and saying, well, Mr. President, you did say that. And here's the quote. No editors emailing him saying, look, the next time you jump down my reporter's throat, that reporter is going to, what has happened to our country? If we continue as a cabinet and as journalists, allow the new King Arthur, the new Julius Caesar, whatever, to continue to go on his rampage, and nobody kindly, professionally says, look, sir, you did say that, and with all due respect, here's the receipts and here's the evidence. Now, would you please professionally ask my question? Until that happens, it's going to get out of hand. Extreme, and it's already, in my humble opinion, out of hand. But it's going to reach a max and extreme. It's going to get to the point where he thinks he can then clear out the room. I see it coming. That's why I'm speaking on it. This is our America. Journalism, media, that's a major pillar. That's our voice. That's our ears. Those are our eyes. When a journalist goes and spends 4, 6, 8 years in school honing their craft, and they are in such a meeting with the President of the United States, they represent us. Those are our questions. We are not to be insulted, and we sure shouldn't stand for it. And we should tell the journalists we're not standing for it. And the president should understand we're not standing for it. Congress at this point should address this issue. I think it's a problem. I don't think it's something that we should just say, okay, it's fine. Because when I ran all of these responses this morning from these networks, everybody hit him with kid gloves. Nothing hard. Nobody's making him accountable. Maybe by the time I get this video done, you guys will put something in the description and say, well, Pearson, I finally found someone. But I need a collective media. People like Trump, they fear collectivity. He'll beat up on a singular journalist. But when all of them get together and say, look, because like I told you guys about a month ago, maybe they should stop covering him. Maybe they should boycott what he's got to say. Only get Congress' opinion. Some way to reel him back in and get him straight. Because he's severely out of touch with how America should run. It ain't too hard to do this thing. Are you lying to us? Are you withholding information? Are you not in touch? And what about this thing? Tell me if you've seen it in the description. What about this thing about, I didn't know? How many times has Trump pulled that crap the last 2-3 months? I wasn't familiar. I didn't know. What's his name? What's her name? People, you ain't stupid. Anybody over 30 or 40 knows, if you listen to the media long enough, he get a briefing every day. He get a briefing while he in the shower. Come on, man. We tolerating too much. You want your country to be like some of these other dictators? Because if we continue to not hold him accountable, to not push back, to not correct him, to not criticize him, and I'm saying this in the spirit of love, I am saying that America's made a vote. We did not all agree on Trump, but some of us, we voted for Trump. We want a standard of excellence. I shouldn't have to dream about calling Santa Claus, because he said he don't deal with fairy tales. So again, why should we accept a nightmare? Because if you don't think it's a nightmare, it's coming. All these professional people, men and women, journalists, got to bite their tongue. No cabinet member, none, stood up to him. And I'm waiting on Congress. Stand up. Last week, they caught him a few times, allegedly going to sleep. I saw it. You saw it. Is he losing his mind? Is the pressure bothering him? Is it all an act? I don't care. If he ain't fit for it, get out. And the reason why I went there is because he created an atmosphere which brings it out of you. Oh, Pearson, but you should have control of your feelings. You know what? At some point, you let go of all that. He keep bringing it, I'm going to bring it. You done brought a certain concentration of atmosphere, I'm going to bring it back. He acting stupid, I'm going to act stupid. He want to insult, I'm not going to insult, but I ain't taking it. I'm going to still hold you accountable. So if he's sleeping, check him. Excuse me, sir, you're at a press conference. You can't be falling asleep. Congress, tell him, pull his coat. You falling asleep, Trump, in a cabinet meeting. The camera's on you. All this misspeaking, allegedly, call him accountable. If he can't remember what he said 4 or 5 days ago, or he lying, or he giving it off on Pete Hegseth, hold him accountable. Many people believe that striking the boat the second time was a declaration of war. What do you think? I think it was. The man getting off the rails. I'm not a constitutional scholar, but I got good sense. And if my recollection is correct, only Congress can declare war, not the president. And he's standing on something that we don't agree on. We have a country that we represent. It's called We the People. And I don't care if people are going to say, well, Jesus is coming, don't worry about it. No, the Bible says enduring to the end. This is part of enduring. Again, if he thinks that he can talk to a woman gives birth. Before she's a journalist, that's a woman. She's to be respected. You women done fought for all your rights since the 60s, and now you finally get these positions, and now you are in a position to be professional and dig for the news and give it to us, and now you got to be respected. What happened to the I have a dream concept of you wanted to be a woman doing the same thing a man has done and is doing, and do it better? You're not standing up when it comes down to the president. And what happened to you men, biblically based, running families, being accountable, that when a man is out of line, you check him sometime right in his face and say, hey, brother, you out of line. You can't talk to a woman like that. Everybody's chickening out in front of Trump. Everybody. Which leads me to my last point. The next person that fills his shoes, you've already set the tenor and tone about what you're going to accept. Should I say it again? The way Donald Trump is carrying on right now, by our non-response to him, either in his face or going through the proper channels to let him know how disrespectful he is and how unaccountable he is and can't take the heat. In other words, if he's deliberately pushing back because he don't want to deal with it, that's wrong too. But we need men. We need fathers. We need parents. Because when your 8th grader, 9th grader, or person is going to graduate this year, just happen to see this video and then see my video, they're going to feel conflicted. That mama and daddy have taught me how to dot my I's, cross my T's, walk the straight and narrow, respect God, respect my fellow man. But the president can lie all day. Really, mommy? Really, daddy? What kind of example is Trump setting? And what kind of atmosphere are we allowing? This is our America. He got elected. Elected don't make you king. And everybody needs to be looked at in positions, especially positions of power. You don't have the checks and balances, if you don't have the accountability, if you're not going to speak up on a timely basis, if you're going to let it persist, at some point, whenever he leaves, you have set a standard that when the next person becomes president, that president already knows how much you're going to tolerate. You think about what I'm saying. I'm Crenshaw Pearson.